Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, I tested every dunk in NBA 2K23 so you don't have to, and first featured in today's video is every build that I have, and as you can see, lots of slash takeovers involved on this stuff. I have like literally 6 or 7 builds. Pretty much every one except for the two-way three-point shot creator has at least 85 dunk or higher. Most of them have either 93 or 94. Now, what I want to also present you with is the 15 best dunks in the game, in my opinion. Now, I do have some of them rated in the C tier, but I want to talk about why I actually feel like they hold some value. And we'll get into this once I actually show the rating requirements for all these dunks, but Clay, Ginobili, all types of stuff like that, they're really good budget value dunk packages that only need like 55 or 50 dunk, stuff like that. Ginobili with 50, I believe Clay is 55. We'll, like I said, talk about all the rating thresholds and stuff like that you have to meet for some of these, but not to mention, just for instance, the S tier being Dwight Howard. This is good for standing dunks. This is elite for standing dunk bigs that really want to get fast, athletic, super crazy standing dunks. Also, obviously, if you have contact dunks, if you have alley-oop packages, I would highly recommend to put all of those on. And this video may be a little bit sloppy, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about, so just stay with me a little bit. So, first and foremost, I want to talk about just the X button holding. I do believe that Cradle dunks and Michael Jordan are good for X button dunks in general. This is why I want you guys to listen to me a little bit, because I didn't want to like cloud up all types of stuff and be like X button here, standing dunk here with the Cat and Dwight, the X buttons with the Michael Jordan and Cradle dunks. But I want to explain to you guys certain things. So the reason I'm not a huge fan of Michael Jordan or Cradle dunks, when it comes to using the dunk meter, it really is going to get in your way and be extremely annoying. But if you do just do a lot of X button holding and just kind of, like I said, just running to the hoop and holding X when it comes to your dunks, Michael Jordan is really, really good, especially paired with gold or Hall of Fame limitless takeoff. That free throw line dunk goes so hard. Problem being is that it's way too fast and way too hard to time when it comes to the dunk meter, in my personal opinion. I don't run it for that sole reason. I use the dunk meter a lot, and it would really, really troll me, if you ask me, to run Michael Jordan as far as like an avid dunk meter user. Same with Cradle dunks. It's really fast, it's really good, but I'm not a big fan of it, and it really gets in the way of the dunk meter. So these two dunks I would only recommend if you use your X button, simple as that. For the dunk meters though, LeBron and uber athletic tomahawks off one go really well with the contact dunks. It blends in really good. It generally is going to be easy to time your open and contact dunks because they're going to look very similar, because it's just tomahawks that kind of just bang on people's head. But when it comes to efficiency, we obviously have quick drops off one and front clutches. I recently played with someone in the rec that just runs quick drops off one and only that, and then contact dunks. And they were really, really good with their meter because it's the exact same timing every time for open dunks. Obviously the quick drops off one, very quick, efficient, and predictable if that's the only package you have. Now, the reason I'm not a big fan of that personally is because I know this trick where if you flick up and then hold up on your right stick, you will activate a flashy dunk, and the flashy dunks give you more takeover, significantly more takeover. And what makes uber athletic tomahawks off one, LeBron James, all types of stuff like that, even the Clyde Drexler and Michael Jordan special, is that you do get those flashy dunks and they give you more takeover. Now, what makes front clutches special is not only that it's a conservative dunk just like quick drops off one, it's probably the second best dunk package in the game when it comes to efficiency. Unblockable dunk, pretty much. Like these two are top tier, but what makes front clutches an S tier dunk package is that it has a flashy dunk package in it. It's like a side little swing dunk essentially, where it's still a front clutch. It's a little bit less conservative and obviously gets in the more blockable range and stuff like that. But the fact that it has one that you can activate on demand by just flicking up then holding up instead of just holding up for the conservative one is amazing. I can't believe there's not more stage heads out there that don't run this stuff. Like it's mind-boggling that people who just do a lot of rim running off pick and pops with wide open paints where people are pressing way too high on them, like I'm talking small guards that have 80 dunk, I cannot believe that they don't run front clutches. That is trolling them so hard. They could have takeover so much faster. They don't even know it. I'm glad they don't even know it, but if anybody's gonna tell them, it might as well be me. So now, the reason I actually like Ben Simmons, it's more of a niche thing for me. If you're a build that is maybe a 6'9", but you play as a little bit of a pick and roller, cutter, or you want more standing dunk packages, this is one of the actual dunk packages you can get. Other things like Cat, Dwight, all types of stuff like that, even I believe like Daryl Dawkins, there's a lot of different standing dunk packages you can't get because they're height capped. Shaq, all types of stuff like that. You have to be 6'10" and taller. If you are a 6'9", Ben Simmons is elite for that stuff. Now, Simmons does have a couple of dunks that get in the way of quick dropping. I will let you guys know that much. So that's why this stuff can get to be a little bit of an intertwining, annoying thing to deal with, because a lot of dunks supersede each other, or maybe like jump them in the priority list, so to say. So again, if you do like hold up on your right stick, if you're running Ben Simmons and LeBron and quick drops, it's going to give you the Ben Simmons package. Now, if you run like Russ, Simmons, LeBron, and quick drops, it'll give you the Russ package very often. If you run Russ, Simmons, LeBron, quick drops, and front clutches, the front clutches pop up more often. I've tested this stuff so much, I want to bring this to you guys and like feed you this information and stuff like that as well. Now, let's transition really quickly. I know, like I said, this is kind of all over the place, but I wanted to stay on this screen for as long as possible, and then I will get over to the actual animations and their requirements and stuff like that. But part of what we're talking about is the fact that you don't get LeBron on a small guard. You don't get Ben Simmons on a small guard or anything like that. If you make a 6'1" guard, you either only run quick drops or front clutches. Now, that's what's so convenient, though, is because I used to think, well, dang, I really want that LeBron package for the flashy dunks, but come to find out, you low-key could just run front clutches as a small guard, and then that's going to be how you activate those flashy dunks. It's so convenient. I really don't think you need anything else if you're a small guard and you can just run quick drops and front clutches. Simple as that. It's good for your meters. It's good for your flashy dunks. It's good for the efficiency. It doesn't get in the way of each other. You can run contacts if you happen to have that as well. With small guards, you obviously probably have pro contacts. Very unlikely you have elite, I would assume, but let's talk about the builds that have maybe lower dunk ratings, because that one that I have, the double lock take that I showcased at the very beginning of the video, that has 50 dunk. I run mono Ginobili and literally just that. It's pretty much Ginobili and some very standard standing dunk packages that only require 40 and 45 standing dunk. And it works so good. I gotta say, it's a really quick, efficient dunk. If you're someone that has very low dunk rating, like I'm talking 70 and below or 60 and below, Ginobili is fire. Also, Clay is really good too. I didn't get it on my build. I didn't think it was worth it to upgrade to that 55 for it, but nonetheless, it's still going to be a good like budget animation for you to run. Also, featured in today's video, we have windmill baseline reverses off 2 and baseline reverses off 1. They're both really good. I would advise to have a baseline dunk on, especially even if you're a guard too that only runs these two up top. It's really good to at least have a baseline dunk. You're not really often going to be in those situations, but to go for a reverse dunk and you don't even have one on is so troll to yourself, and it would be an absolute mistake. Now, real quick, let's do some recap. Cat has some pretty solid standing dunks. That's why I have it even featured in this video at the C tier. Now, I personally am of the belief that anything that's not on this list is pretty much a D or F tier. D, E, or F. Simple as that. Like, it's not even worth running. I don't think things like athletic 360s are worth. You can get flashy dunks off literally front clutches, LeBron, Uber Athletics, all types of stuff like that. So what's the point, realistically, other than to be flashy, even more like visibly flashy? Besides that, though, there's really nothing that is really of value if you ask me. You're either looking for efficiency, flashy dunk like priority that gives you the more takeover, or something that helps you standing dunk more, which is between, like I said, the Ben Simmons, Dwight, simple as that. Between the standings, Cat, you have the like quick dunks that also Russ features into if you want to go with something a little bit more aggressive than to be some quick drops off one made dude who's just like attacking the hoop in the exact same way, and you look just sorry yourself because you have no pride. But nonetheless, like I said, it's still a very efficient dunk. I don't blame you. You obviously put 80 dunk on your build for a reason, and that's probably what you shot for. So also front clutch is a 78, so it's plenty equipable if you're someone that's like that too. I hate that I put you guys onto that though. Them stage guards, yo, you owe me some props for that stuff, if you, because I haven't seen anybody doing that stuff yet, and I don't know why either, for that matter. But anyway, again, just to kind of the final recaps. For the small guards, if you want something very like tomahawkish and quick, but you can't get those LeBrons and the cockbacks and stuff like that, they're not even that good if you ask me. They don't activate flashies either, at least to my eyes, and when I actually use them. Other than that, only run Uber Athletics off 1, but that's 90 requirement for the dunk. Clyde is really good if you're someone that has like pro contacts and you're a small guard, because it's not height capped like the other ones are, but Clyde is really good for those tomahawks. The downside of it, and why it's in the B tier instead of the A like LeBron is it has that one dunk where you like stick your legs back, and it's just really, really bad. Like his signature dunk, it's super slow. It might even get in the way of your quick drops a little bit. So go into that at your own discretion and stuff like that as well. But it's really good with the tomahawks. Those tomahawks absolutely just slam the basket so quick. Also, I don't feel like I put enough stress on the fact that Dwight Howard is truly an S tier dunk package just off the fact that it gets amazing standing dunks. I really do wish I had a build that was 6'10 so I could actually utilize this. I do have a 6'11, but it's really outdated. It doesn't have accelerator, doesn't have gym rat like my other builds have, so it's kind of annoying to even get on it. Not to mention I didn't even fully grind it out. It's still at 97 and doesn't even have like the under basket elite dunk packages like for the bigs and stuff like that. Nonetheless though, Dwight, throughout all the years of me playing 2K, has been the absolute pinnacle of standing dunk packages. Super fast, super athletic, super consistent. Also, if you want to create different dunk packages, obviously the dunk style creator, you can save different ones, you can utilize different ones if you want efficient ones, flashy ones, ones that test out maybe more dunks at a time if you're in something that you care less about, whether that's twos for yourself, whether you don't even care about park and you want to care about rec a little bit more, or if you don't care about rec and you maybe want to go in there and test different things out, absolutely go for it. Whatever you want to do, you can definitely run different packages. Like I said though, I would highly suggest equip all contact dunks that you can put on. As far as the alley-oops, I will let you guys know, I don't think the park alleys are very good. I'm not a big fan. I generally just rock out with the Pro, Elite, and Zion. As far as the one that I actually would take off though, it might be Pro. I'm not gonna lie, they're very basic, very standard. I do think though that they're more for close range situations where if they pass it to you a little bit late and you're still below the basket, as you can see, a lot of them are popping off like that. So I'm not really going to be the one to drop it off or anything like that, but I will say the elites are really quick, really athletic, and they come in flying in most situations. You're going to be moving really, really fast like this one right here. It's really good for the driving alley-oops. I will say though, if you're a constant alley-oop catcher, Pro is probably a likely thing that you want to keep on. Zion contributes pretty solid as well. It's a little bit more flashy with like some 360s, double clutches and stuff like that, but I still run it. It has some really athletic ones as well, so I still prefer to use it. But anyway, as for the dunks that I actually suggest in today's video, I want to show you the requirements. So for windmill baseline reverses, you need 80 dunk and 60 vertical, which you actually do get for many different builds that have like the quick drops off one and stuff like that as well. If you reach those requirements, you can also run baseline reverses off one. Same exact requirements, 80 and 60 as far as the dunk and vertical. We have the tomahawks. Like I said, I have tested the cockbacks, the straight arms, the side arms, all types of stuff like that. Obviously not the big man on this build because I obviously have, you know, a 6'9". But uber athletics, you need 70 vertical and 90 dunk. If you have a build that has elite contact dunk packages, this is something you can run. Obviously you have at least like 92 dunk, and then you probably have 93 for the gold posterizer. And then on top of that too, you need 82 vertical to have those. So you can absolutely use the uber athletic tomahawks. This is the highest dunk requirement in the whole game, 90. And they're really good. They are really quick and flashy, and obviously like it utilizes as far as if you use your dunk meter, it'll still pop up with a flashy dunk pretty often if it's not a contact. And again, if it is a contact, they look very similar to contact dunks too. So I'm a really big fan. Double clutch is where you're gonna find front clutches. It's on the off one or the 1 foot moving dunks, as you can see. Very little requirements. Only 78 and 58 between the vertical and the driving dunk. And also you're going to see these flashy dunk animations pop off really quickly right here. It's going to be the one that's kind of moving a little bit more side to side. So these ones right here, this is the flashy dunk package. This is the flashy dunk package. Anything else though where it's doing like just the straight like on your chest and then your head area where it's just up and down, that is the simple, quick, basic dunk that you're going to get when you hold up on the stick. So front clutches are really elite. I think they're so slept on, and again, people really like troll for not being able to run them. But nonetheless, back to the 80 dunk and 60 vert requirements. You have the quick drops off one. Again, 80 dunk and 60 vert is probably the most consistent thing you're going to see in this whole game that people have on their builds at least, and then maybe more in each aspect. But that's probably the bare necessities that people will run. But anyway, again, for the 2 foots, I'd only recommend that. The 2 foot dunks are pretty troll. I do not recommend any of them. I obviously tried like a couple between the Uber Athletics. There's a couple between like quick drops off 2 I've seen for builds that have only 65 driving dunk. It's really bad. I'm gonna be honest, it's so bad. Like, it's not even close to the quick drops off 1. And then I like I said, would also not recommend any park dunks or anything like that. As far as the standing dunks, I honestly am of the belief that whatever you can get that actually activates is good. I mean, the more things you put on that can activate a standing dunk, in my opinion, is good. Now, maybe you're of a different belief because you maybe have a higher close shot than me, because my builds consistently stay around like 67 close shot or 65 close shot because I don't want my mid-range to go up because I play as an inside and I don't want the mid-range and three-pointer going up or anything like that. And if you go higher on the close shot, it gets forced in that situation. So again, for me, any standing dunk is better than a standing lay. That's how I see it. I honestly do believe the more you have, the more often you will do the dunks. These are great budget ones right here. Going for 40 and 45 standing dunk is so good. I cannot believe how well a 45 rating performs on standing dunks. You guys would not believe it. If you ever make a build and you want to go with like no standing dunk, I would at least recommend 45. I'm gonna be honest, it is unbelievable how much better it is. And also, if you go on like builds that are like 6, 8 and below, you can get rise up for tier 1. So this middle category is probably the worst ones for standing dunks as far as the efficiency. They're a lot slower and kind of clunky and just bad. But again, the more standing dunks you can get, the better. Same with the pro under basket. Now, I will say the athletic one on the right category is actually pretty good. You're going to see the one hand under basket athletic is really good, but this is for builds that obviously have pretty high standing dunk, and you're more likely a big man if you have something like this. So I'm a pretty big fan of that. The two-hand under basket athletic, not super crazy or anything like that, but again, I would also recommend running the contact dunks. I still have yet to test out the Giannis as far as how much it helps you for standing dunks, but as you can see, I have a lot of these purchased, like an unbelievable amount of them, or I just can't run them. So the Dwight Howard one, unbelievably good. You got to see some of these really athletic animations. Like, look at that. That's unbelievable. And the fact you only need 75 standing dunk for it and 65 driving dunk, 50 vertical, that's so great of an animation right there. Unfortunately, I'm an inch shorter than the requirement. I cannot believe, I would so be in love with the 6'9" height if Dwight Howard could be ran on this. I can't even believe how elite that is. Look at that animation. That's unbelievable, bro. So I don't even recommend putting Shaq on or anything like that because it's a little bit slower and less athletic, adds more driving dunks to you and stuff like that. It's not ideal, but nonetheless, if you are someone that just wants to standing dunk every opportunity you can get, I would recommend to run like Daryl Dawkins, Dwight Howard, Shaq, all types of stuff like that. Maybe debatably Blake Griffin, probably still Ben Simmons. I think Ben Simmons you have to be at least 6'5" for, so yeah, you can't make it as like a small guard or anything like that. And then run like athletic, run all these standing dunk packages. It just makes sense if you're someone who is like a tall big that just wants to dunk the mess out of the ball. And also Cat too. Cat's also pretty good, like I said. But anyway, for the Russell Westbrook, you need an 85 dunk for this. If you get pro contact, it's very likely you probably have this. Ben Simmons, it's 65, 75, and 45 as far as the requirements. So you can just kind of come back to this for reference if you're trying to make a build that has this stuff. For the Klay Thompson, as you can see, 55 driving dunk and 35 vertical. You have to be at least under 6'10". So you can see the efficiency behind this one is actually really good. Again, it's a pretty solid dunk for the fact that you only have 55 driving dunk ability on your build. Another one that fits in to a really good budget, if you want to go all the way into the budget, I would recommend to at least put 40 driving dunk on your build if you're planning to make it as a 0. I will say I've seen plenty of people this year who have made the builds with a 0, like as far as the driving dunk, as far as my teammates. In retrospect, I always sit here and think, dang, I wish I would have recommended to them that they ended up going with like the 40 or the 50 with Manu Ginobili right here, because Ginobili is really good as well. One hand, always off one. Look at how efficient and quick these dunks are. It's so good. And I have this, like I said, on that one build that has 50 driving dunk. It's more of a pure lock 1v1 build, and it's so good. And if people try and chase me down with stuff like this, I literally just let them fly past me and just go up with a close shot. It's so efficient. Also, another thing. Let's talk about the Clyde Drexler one. So as you can see, that stupid dunk in the first one is really bad. But look at how fast he flies in there with these driving dunks. It's unbelievable. Like this one, garbage. These next couple that are going to play out, unbelievably fast. Look at how fast the screen is moving, bro. It's ridiculously good for those tomahawks. And ironically, the requirements for this are the exact same thing as the quick drop. So as you can see, 80 driving dunk, 60 vertical, and height under 6'10". Also, you don't even need to be under 6'10" for the quick drops or anything like that at front clutches. But again, same requirements, and probably very likely that if you made a build that just gets quick drops, you are lucky because you're still going to be able to run Clyde. But go into it with your own like whereabouts and stuff like that, because you will get trolled by that animation sometimes. You can see it actually like provides a little bit of a standing dunk package too. Pretty cool. Other than that though, I'm not a big fan of the Ja Morant dunk. It's not really like super efficient. Zach LaVine has too many 360s and windmills and stuff like that for my liking. Same with Blake Griffin, way too extra. Vince Carter, Kobe too. Shout out to the Mamba, but this stuff is like kind of OD and does too much. Draymond Green is an interesting one if you happen to be a build that goes with that standing dunk and driving dunk kind of budget aspect, because as you can see, you get 50 standing dunk and 50 driving dunk with 35 vertical, and you will still be able to perform dunks as well. And some of them are standings that will apply to your build. So I'm a pretty big fan of this if you're someone that maybe goes with like a 50-50 dunk build where it's 50 driving, 50 standing, and then you happen to have the 35 vert too. So that is almost all. I know we have a lot more to talk about and stuff like that, but I know the video is getting a little bit long as well. LeBron is 84-64, which is still, like I said, really good. It's probably one of my favorite dunks in the game as far as providing those flashies, the good tomahawks that blend in with the contact dunks and stuff like that as well. And yeah, the ones that I haven't tested are the ones that I just deemed weren't even worth putting on. Like Paul George is way too troll. I will say Luka is one that looks solid if you happen to have 70 driving dunk with 50 vertical. It actually looks pretty solid compared to anything else you can get with 70, minus, like I said, probably just running Klay Thompson and Manu Ginobili for the dunks as well. But anyway, that's all for the video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff. And like always, try to 2,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put dunk in the comments, show it supports me all the way through. And also just one last quick little refresher as far as all of the grades on this stuff. Dwight quick drops and front clutches are by far my favorites as far as like the efficiency, the flashy factor of front clutches. Obviously, quick drops is the most efficient dunk in the whole game. Dwight adds all those crazy athletic standing dunk packages for the bigs. Uber Athletics and LeBron are really good for the dunk meter blending. Michael Jordan really good for the X button, same with the cradle dunks. And again, I do not advise those two dunks when it comes to if you even touch your dunk meter at all, because they will activate very often. Also, my apologies because I didn't even show the Michael Jordan dunk requirements, but I have it right here. I'll just read it to you. 88 driving dunk, 70 vertical, and you have to be under 6'10". So I would say a good bit of people can get this, but it might not be in your threshold, because if you went for the gold limitless takeoff, it's probably around 86 driving dunk that you have. So you might not even have the Michael Jordan. And also, cradle dunks is around like 80-ish, I believe. I'll also pull that up right quick. Yeah, cradle dunks are 80 and 60, just like nearly every other dunk in the game. So if you are a quick dropping build and stuff like that, you can still run cradle dunks. I'm not a fan of it though. I wouldn't advise. But I don't know. At the end of the day, if you're someone that doesn't even touch your meter, it could be still pretty solid as well to contribute to your dunk packages. And maybe just get more dunks, because the more packages you have, the more it actually does dunk the ball, in my opinion, because that just means more animations will trigger off. But nonetheless, I mean, if you have front clutches and quick drops, you're probably just going to dunk the ball every time that you do anyway. So it is what it is. But anyway, just a quick little recap of all the grades and stuff like that. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. And if you did, like I said, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to channel, notice, all good stuff. But that's all for the video. Hope y'all enjoyed. Take these, man. Peace.